You know how I also like put like that together is because dating in Korea.
Speak on it. It's a lot out here. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Korea Unfiltered, the platform where we have expats tell their stories. Today, I am joined with a different guest. I have known this friend for a pretty long time, and it's funny because we met on a client basis, I would say. I think you were actually a client that I was working for, technically. So I'm super excited to introduce you guys to my friend, Monica. Welcome to the show.
This is my first time doing a podcast.
She literally doesn't even post pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, I am
You're very private.
I sleuth on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
she'll stalk, but she's not gonna post her face on Instagram.
No.
Yeah.
But I know all the details.
She knows all the tea. Monica keeps the tea for sure. But welcome to the show. Do you want to introduce yourself?
So I'm from America, born and raised in New Jersey.
I thought you were gonna say Barbados or something. I don't know. The way you paused, I was like, girl, you know you're American, right? Oh, you're a Jersey girl. Born and raised in Jersey?
You didn't know that I was from New Jersey?
I knew you were from New Jersey, but I don't know why I thought you were born in Korea and then you immigrated to the States.
No, you're mistaking me for another Korean.
Hey, yo, don't try to tell my audience I'm racist or something out here. No, literally, I don't know why I thought that, which is crazy because your name is Monica. You don't have a Korean name, right?
Yeah. I don't have a Korean name.
I always found that so interesting.
Well, my parents didn't have time for me, so they were just like, they didn't remember to give me a Korean name.
Interesting. Have you ever been like, I want a Korean name?
No.
Really?
I think I was very different as a kid.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like following what other people were doing.
Yeah.
The trends then during that time when we were growing up, it was very cliquey. And I wasn't really into that type of lifestyle.
Yeah.
I was pretty much like a self-loner.
Like independent type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see why you don't have a Korean name. I remember one time I saw your name written and it was just Monica. And I was like, girl, you forgot to write your real name. Yeah. And you were like, that's my real name.
On my Korean ID is
literally
Monica.
Yeah, I was like, that's so interesting. So you born and raised in Jersey, and how did you end up coming to Korea?
So, long story short, I came to Korea first time when I was 19.
It was you came young.
Yeah, it was for a very short summer program at Yonsei.
Oh, everybody goes to Yonsei.
Yeah, and so
Yonsei
I went to school in Manhattan, but I really wanted to experience the city life because where I grew up in New Jersey, it was very white.
Oh, like suburbs, maybe?
Yeah, it's very suburban. I wanted to experience different cultures and pretty much like go outside the box. Yeah. But because everyone was kind of doing the same thing, their goals were very similar. Yeah. I didn't feel satisfied with where I was living at. Right. I didn't feel like I was able to grow in the way that I wanted to in terms of even like my career, but also like self-growth. Yeah, self-growth. So I decided to go to school in Manhattan, but I realized that everyone that I went to school with were pretty much the same types of people that I went to high school with.
Oh, okay.
So, and also Manhattan is just not a place where you're gonna. It's not a great environment for students because everything is really expensive. It's very pricey. Everyone is old.
Oh. Because only old folk can, be able to. Yeah. Everything is expensive. We don't got money out there like that.
So basically, I wasn't getting what I wanted. Yeah. And at that time, like, you go through a lot of stuff. It's a big change in your life because I was living in dorms. And while it was a good experience for me to be outside of my family home,
it's the best experience.
Yeah.
When you leave the house, yeah.
I think I started like spiraling.
Down or up? Spiraling up.
And these people spiral up.
I don't know. You can be the first one. So you start downwards. Spiraling.
Yeah. I was.
Oh no.
It was a little bit hard for me to adjust to that life because, I mean, it was a bunch of different things. Yeah. But basically, long story short, I came to Korea to see if there's a little bit something else that it can offer me.
Yeah.
And actually, the diversity in Korea is insane because there's so many different types of people that I've met here than I have ever in America.
In New York? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
From different cultures, from different
that is
countries.
true. Yeah. There's like a lot of different people from different countries here. And did you choose Korea because you were Korean, or did you choose it because of like the passport, the visa? Like what made you choose to come to Korea?
So basically, my mom, she planted the seed when I was young. She wanted me to like try do like a study abroad program when I was in college, but at that time I was in high school and I wasn't really into it.
Yeah.
But because of, you know, my college life was not what I wanted, I decided to like just try it out and see what happens, and I ended up really enjoying it. So after that really short summer program, I went back for a full spring semester.
Yeah.
And after that spring semester, I decided to take a year off from college to intern in Korea.
Oh.
So I was really lucky, and I was able to get a couple of internships at two pretty well-known companies.
Yeah.
And it really opened my eyes to the possibilities of who I can become.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah, so when I went back to America, I felt like
you were like, this is not for me anymore.
Yeah, like, you know, like that post depression, you know?
Yeah, you're just like, this is not gonna do for me.
And the one thing that I realized I really dislike is being put in a box.
Yeah. You feel like in America you were put in a box.
Yeah. I mean, besides the fact that I'm Asian, obviously there's going to be some like setbacks with that,
right,
in terms of race. But I think being in Korea and being able to experience and having more opportunities in general just made me grow faster.
Not grew faster, grow faster. You said it made me grow faster. Now you opening your heart out, and I'm over here crapping her.
No, it's like
she's like pouring her heart, and I'm like,
it's like, is that the wrong grammar? I've been here for a while, so I don't know.
That's okay. I can't think
the
of
greatest
Korean
English
either,
right now.
So. Okay. Oh, I almost died. The spit was like, shut up. Sorry.
So, yeah, I've been here since I officially started living here in 2015.
Dang.
Yes, it's been a while.
While you were in Korea, do you think there are any like hardships you faced? And I find this question really interesting because you're Korean American. Like, you're not like, you know, white or some other type of Asian. So I'm like very curious to hear what type of hardships you've had as a Korean American living in Korea, or as you living in Korea. This does not only define your race or anything like that, just like you as a person.
Because I spent pretty much my entire 20s in Korea. I'm 30 now, so in your 20s is like the time where you're self-discovering yourself and really figuring out what you are. I mean, who you are, what you want to do. So it was a big struggle, but I don't think I would have been able to grow as much as I have if I was still in America.
In terms of like personality, emotionally, like what type of growth are we talking?
Everything,
really.
in my career, like I've always said, like my life and my work is completely separate, but I realized recently that my life is my work. I define myself through my career.
Yeah.
So because of that, I realized a lot of setbacks that I've had is mostly things that I pull myself back on personally, like, you know, not putting myself out there, or being a little bit timid, or not taking the initiative. And I mean, that's for anyone, but for me personally, that was something that the hardest I've struggled with because of the things that I've experienced back when I was younger.
Yeah.
So to have this type of environment where I'm really by myself, and trying to find my people, I guess it's been a journey, but I don't think it would have turned out the way it has if I was still in America.
If you're still back home, basically.
Because there's a part of me where when I'm in America, I can easily just run away from things.
True.
It's much easier
That's
to not.
true. Yeah.
Like, it's easier to avoid your problems than to face them.
Yeah.
If you're in America, because you know how everything works. You know how the system works.
Yeah.
The language, like, it's your main language. You know what to say. You know how to get out of things. And that was like my expertise. I was really good at getting out of things and avoiding things.
Yeah.
But because I couldn't do that here, because I had to rely on myself, that is something that I've learned to do that has changed me a lot, especially recently. And also, healthcare, mental health care. Like, I wasn't able to have the resources back in America.
Really? You think you have more resources in Korea when it comes to mental health?
Yes.
Because America is very like, mental health, take care of your mental health. And I feel like Korea, they don't really talk about it.
I think it's really difficult to find a doctor in America.
Yeah.
Because America's huge.
It is big.
So it's like you need to find a doctor or a therapist that aligns with what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But if you don't find one in your vicinity, how far are you gonna drive, or how far are you gonna travel?
To go to a therapist or a psychiatrist. That's true.
And do you have insurance? Can you afford it?
Yeah, can you afford it? It's big in America. Yeah.
So I started getting professional help in my mid-20s, and that's when I was able to kind of clearly see myself and the position I put myself in, because I've had that help. And it wasn't they were giving me advice or whatever.
Yeah.
It was mostly the medication that I was able to get very cheap. And
medication in America is very, very expensive.
And I think, at least because I had that, I was able to kind of do a little bit more
self-care?
Yeah, self-care, self-therapy, pretty much, in getting there to where I am now, which is better than before.
How have you found it, like, integrating yourself as a Korean America to Koreans? Like, was that hard to do, or like dating and socially, do you feel like it was harder for you as a Korean American, or excuse me?
For everyday life type of stuff, it doesn't really bother me, because stuff like that never really bothered me. I am different. I will always be different.
Yeah, you don't care about what people think about you, for sure. Like, that's something I think we established.
But also, like, I don't like being in
the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, do I want to be associated with either group? I don't think so. I just want to be there. I just want to
That is so interesting, because I feel like in Korea, or my experiences of living in Korea, is like the whole nunchi and Koreans wanting to be accepted by other Koreans is very severe. I feel like we want to be individuals, but some Koreans really want to be accepted by other Koreans. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, because everybody's raised different and, social, cultural differences and all. But do you think that's also because you're Korean American? Like, the American part of you is like, I don't care to really get along with everyone.
I think it's just the way that I was raised. Like, my parents were always busy. So I pretty much was by myself. I grew up by myself. And I had a hard time getting along with other people. Interpersonal wise, like, I just could not get into the things that they're into, because I was going through my own.
Right. You had your own problems to worry about.
Yeah. And I don't know, I couldn't just like get into the trends that, like, what we grew up with.
Yeah.
Like, I was more comfortable and more happy with doing my own. But I think it's also because of not being socialized when I was younger.
Because you were alone a lot, right?
Yeah, so that's something that I've been trying to improve. Like, obviously, if I want to do
I have
better.
noticed you definitely get off the map and just come back like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hear from you or even see you for like months, and then you come back and I'm like, oh shit, Monica's alive.
But I feel like adult relationships are like that nowadays, are they not?
That's true, but for you, the thing is, you don't post on social media. Yeah. So I really don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like for me, I post a lot on Instagram, so like you definitely know I'm alive, right?
It's because all I do is go to work, go home, and then go to work, and on the weekends I work.
Damn. You don't want to change that? Have you ever thought of changing that? Because I don't even hear you say you're traveling or anything.
I have certain goals in my life, and if I don't get it within a certain time frame, I feel like I just wasted my time. And to me, my biggest pet peeve is wasting time.
Bro, because you're not going to get it back.
Yeah.
Like, there's no going back in time.
I don't care about wasting money.
Yeah.
But wasting time is the worst thing. I get irrationally angry.
Yeah. Wasting time is very annoying. I think me and you are similar in the, like, where we're thinking ahead. I do have friends who literally do not care what happens next year. They're just like, well, if I'm still working in the same field, great. If I'm not, well, I'll figure it out then. But for me and you, it's like, I need to know what I'm doing next year.
The thing is, I was like that before.
You were?
Yeah. In my early to mid-20s before I got medicated.
Really? Before I was tranquilized? Before the drugs hit? Like, what? Was it because it was like a mental health thing you were going through where you're like, I just don't care?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's different then. Yeah. You think it was like a mental health thing. Okay, understandable. That is so before the drugs, that was terrible.
No, but even after going to the doctor, getting prescribed and whatnot, it did take a good 4 or 5 years to actually see my position in my life clearly, like actually clearly, because before I thought I knew, or I thought I kind of was going in the right direction, but looking back, I was not seeing the full picture of everything, because I was still adamant of keeping to myself, staying isolated, not relying on other people, and doing things in my way. But I realized that, you know, again, like if I want to do better, I need to play the rules of society. Yeah.
Nothing is like just me.
Yeah,
you kind of have to integrate.
How it relates to dating and how I like put that connection together is I don't like playing games in the beginning. I mean, but if you don't play games,
do that mirtang.
Oh hell no! I think that's disrespectful.
It's childish.
It is childish. It's
childish.
Really disrespectful for the other person to look at their message and not contact them.
But do you feel like that's because you're Korean American, you're saying this? Because I feel like a lot of Korean girls don't mind it.
No, because you do play games in America. Like a little bit like, oh, I shouldn't respond back right away. I should just like wait like 10, 15 minutes, whatever, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I realize if you don't play the games, they see you as easy.
True.
So I realize I do need to play the game.
But who has time?
For them. Yeah, but like we need to play the rules of society. If that's what they need to see, then that's what they'll get. And that, you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense if you come off as direct
and too open, basically.
They will play you.
Do you find that dating Koreans and Korean Americans are different in Korea, or
100%?
Oh, really?
Oh my God!
I mean, for me too, 100%. But from your perspective, I'm interested to hear how is a Korean American man different from like a Korean when it comes to dating?
Okay, so basically, what I've said to my friend recently, who broke up with her. Her ex.
Her man's.
I told her, like, you need to date a Korean American or a Korean that has lived abroad, because they've went through things that are similar.
That's true.
And they will understand you without you having to explain yourself, because they have a similar story, whether it's a friends or a family members, they know. And if they don't, like, I just blinked out.
It's okay. It happens. If they don't know, they're not Korean American. Let me finish your sentence. But yeah, Korean Americans would for sure understand another Korean American's experience over.
It's that, but it's the immigrant trauma.
That's true. That's true.
That's why we get along.
We both have a whole lot of trauma that's just boiling in our bodies.
The thing is, like, the way that you behave, the way that you think is stemmed from your childhood, right?
For sure.
And because we both have immigrant families or parents, we know the struggle. We know like the way that we had to act when we were younger. And maybe our experiences when we were growing up is completely different, but I know friends and family members that went through your
experiences. Right.
So I can relate to that in a different way. But because Koreans, they don't have that experience, they don't really get it.
Because they've been in their bubble for a while. Because this is their country.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, living in Korea is such a small country. If they haven't seen the world, they're going to think small.
I can see that.
And if any guy in Korea, like Koreans, say that they're open-minded, they only think
sexually.
They're
thinking sexually. We're like, oh, we're open-minded, and then another Korean is like, I'm open-minded too. So you want to sleep together? And I'm just like,
they're talking about threesomes and.
Yeah, I'm like, what does this have to do with being open-minded? But that is true. I have noticed that saying I'm open-minded for a Korean is so different from what we think open-minded is.
And like, I'm not gonna understand their problems because I'm not born and raised in Korea.
True. Like the problems they go through here is very difficult to understand.
So I found that like the difference of like dating a Korean and Korean American, it was very, one was comfortable, the other one was like turmoil. Very turbulent relationship. Yeah.
In what way? You don't have to say everything, just whatever you're comfortable with. Was it like one was obsessed while the other one gave you more freedom, or like was it one did everything while the other one just kind of laid back and did nothing?
The Korean American one was a lot more actually open-minded and gave me space and was very like accepting of certain things because he could relate.
Right.
But the Korean was very needy and a little bit like not as empathetic because he just didn't get it.
He doesn't understand what's going on type thing.
Which is fine because
it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing.
You can't really fix that unless you leave your culture and see other cultures. So it's completely understandable, but that's when we're like, oh, I'd rather date a Korean American or a Kyopo over a Korean. Because I think I've told you this before. I don't date Koreans. Like if you're born in Korea, raised in Korea, never left Korea, I can't see you as
What was your experience of dating Korean?
I just found Koreans to be very small-minded and very obsessive. And I feel like Kyopos give you more space and they understand what you're saying. And also I've realized like I also can't date, someone who doesn't know some parts, like a bit of English. Okay. That's very selfish, but it's just when it comes to like understanding each other, I don't want to have to like be in the middle of a fight. Like, what does that mean? Let me Google it. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine being heated and having to like papago the conversation? Like, who has time to be doing that? So I do prefer that. And also because my parents don't know Korean. Like, I'm going to have to, you're going to need to be able to communicate with my parents a little bit. So that's another reason. But yeah, I can't. I've dated like 3, 4, and I was just like, this is not it.
Even my parents were like, don't date a Korean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really need to leave Korea to understand what's going on in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's everyone. Even Americans who've only been in America. Well, that's a little different, actually. Let me say, because diversity is a little more. But if you're born in the South in America and you've only lived in the South, your experience is so different from people who've like left their cities, their countries. You know what I mean? So I think the experience is very different for sure when you're dating someone who's only been in the same location their whole life than somebody who's been around, had friends who are foreign.
I think it's going to sound really bad, but I swear it's not that bad. But when I was able to kind of like look and be more honest about myself, I realized that if someone were to not handle me, but kind of understand
What's a
me.
handle? Oh. Well, I thought you meant, okay.
No.
No. I was thinking about it in different contexts, but okay.
If someone were to like actually understand me, because that's one of my things that I would like in a partner, if they can actually empathize with me and really understand my feelings, even if they haven't been through the same experience, they should actually at least like understand where I'm coming from.
Okay, that's actually a really good reason.
But if we live completely different lives in completely different cultures, and it's going to be difficult for them to get it. And that's fine. I shouldn't expect that from someone. So
I'd rather break up and just be like, I'll find something else.
Yeah.
That's actually, I completely understand that. Because, if you can't understand where I'm coming from and I have to explain every single little detail.
We need to go through the same emotional childhood trauma.
You meet a guy and you're like, so what's your childhood trauma? Can you holler at me real quick? Can you imagine? And your first date is just traumatic experiences you've handled as a child. That would actually be a dope date. Just pouring your heart out, like, bro, this is the traumatic stuff I went through. That would be a great date.
That would be a great third date.
Because that probably will be the last date that you guys have. That sounds like a cheap therapist. I never, it's crazy because this year when I went back to America, I met some of, my old high school friends. And I can't tell you how much traumatic things we were talking about. We're just like, high school was freaking traumatic. And I never thought about it until we had that conversation. And I was able to, tell them my experiences. And they were like, oh, snap. High school was not that good. And I was like, yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's why any person that tells me that they loved high school and they want to go back is a red flag for me.
For me, I don't even want to be in your vicinity. Because how?
And
oh my God.
That you need to have a certain demeanor to be able to thrive in that sort of environment.
You need to be the bully to be able to survive.
Oh, controversial.
That is definitely controversial. I'm not saying everybody who thrived in high school was a bully, because my brother thrived, and it's just because he was very, very smart and very, very sociable. But I do think it is definitely a red flag if you're like, oh my God, I want to go back to high school. Because I think high school and I want to throw up. I'm physically you know what I mean?
Would you go back if you had the knowledge?
Even with $10 million, no, I'm not going back.
Even with
the knowledge I have now, I would have to beat kids up to be popular, and I can't do it. Because that's how people thrived in my high school. They would have to be bullies, and I can't do it. No amount of money will make me bully a child.
I mean, maybe what if your goal is not to be popular? It was just to find your own thing.
Which was my goal. I was just there to study and learn. But I still got picked on.
You went to school to study and learn?
What did you go to school for?
To survive.
Survive at home.
I had to.
Oh, I see what you mean. What I'm saying is I went to just study and learn, but all these people still found a way to pick on me. That's what I'm trying to say. So I had to learn how to survive, but I don't even think with the knowledge I have now as an adult, I feel like I would still be very icky to go back to school with those kids. The kids I went to school 100%.
With. I don't think I would have wanted to make friends in high school if I went to go back.
I can't.
But at least I would have used the resources that were available to me at that time.
What? Teachers didn't even listen when you tell them you're getting picked. Well, my school, we didn't go to the same school, by the way, obviously. But
I mean, my school had a lot of extracurricular activities.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Things like that. Mm-hmm. I could have at least learned something, or maybe not even go to high school. I just drop out, get my GED.
To be honest, that would probably be faster. Yeah. For me, I did all that, but I was in sports every single season, and I still had people who thought I was something to pick on.
Really? So. Why?
I have a big forehead.
So do I. I've been looking at her forehead the entire time. I don't know about you, but I've been looking.
Well, for me, it was also my forehead was something they always went after. I never really got along with the black kids because they were I'm not black enough for them. You know what I mean? I'm not talking like this all the time. I'm not doing all that. It's too much. It's a lot of work. I don't want to put that work in.
That's insane.
Isn't that crazy? And also, my parents didn't have money to buy me Jordans or nice clothes. I was out here wearing high waters.
They really looked at stuff like that, with what you're wearing, but you have to dress exactly like them.
Yes, and you know what's crazy? When I was a kid, I wore high. You know what high waters are? When your pants are not long enough.
Okay, yeah.
I never knew it's because I have long legs and they had shorter legs than I. So their pants fit well, but my pants were always shorter. But it made it seem like I was poor. But no, I'm just long-legged. And as an adult now, I understand. But as a kid, I was always like, why are my pants never reaching the ground?
I'm sorry, but you didn't put that two together?
No, because they were always picking on me. So I was like, maybe it's just because I'm too poor to buy pants to fit.
I was picked on for going to sleep early.
How the hell do they know what time you sleep?
Because I told them I'm sleeping at that time. And they're like, you go to sleep
at that
time? like maybe 9, 10.
Yeah, I'd believe so. Just kidding.
Dude, I
9 or 10 is like normal. What time were they sleeping?
She was bragging that she slept really late, and I'm like,
no,
cool
she did not.
for
Her
you.
parents would definitely take her to bed early. What's so cool about sleeping late?
She was a loser. But
I bet she's not doing too much with her life right now.
I mean, they're all still friends with each other, I think.
Of course they are.
So
kids who are mean and bully in high school, they're always friends. But see, this is what I mean by trauma. We can talk about our high school trauma this whole episode. Like when I tell you, I've gone through so many traumatic experiences.
You know what? The thing is, like how I went through it is that I was always self-isolating myself because of stuff, right?
I really feel bad for the kids in high school who get bullied. Like I really, really feel bad for them.
The ones that can't handle it, yeah. But it gave me character. So
facts.
Yeah.
It definitely gave me character too. And I'm not saying like, you know, being bullied is great. It's not. It sucks. Like they always say like the axe forgets, the tree remembers. I remember every person who bullied me, but I bet they don't remember me. It's like that. But I definitely do feel like it definitely put me in a spot where I'm like, I want to be successful. I'm not trying to be a teen mom because most of them are teen moms. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of teen pregnancy happening in my school.
In my eyes, you already won, so.
True. I hit 19 and I was like, hey, yo, I'm still not pregnant out here. I haven't even had my first kiss.
Bar is so
like,
low.
Oh, my bar is low. I was not even thinking about men back then. Yeah, guys, high school trauma. This would be a great episode later on to just like.
Yeah, I mean,
talk about high school trauma.
I was thinking about making a podcast about childhood trauma for immigrant families.
Bro, that would be heavy episodes.
Oh,
the episodes would be heavy.
Yes.
But just like the last episode where I asked Colin to rate these places from highest to lowest and tell me why, I'll also be asking you the same thing. So I told you the places were Hongdae, Gangnam, Itaewon, and Shinsa. So where would you place that from best to worst?
My go-tos were Gangnam and Shinsa. But I mean, Gangnam is a huge area. Which part of Gangnam are you talking about?
Gangnam Station, Gangnam. When I say Gangnam, that's what I mean. Hongdae, I mean Hongdae Station. Hongdae.
Okay, Gangnam Station can go to the bottom of the list. I mean, what?
Bro, Gangnam is hateable.
Gangnam Station is like, it's just...
By the way, not like the station. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a mix of tourists with a lot of flagship stores.
Oh, facts.
With terrible cafes, with terrible coffee and desserts.
It's just the interior that's okay.
Yeah, and really bad oh my, the restaurants are so bad there.
They're for tourists, for sure.
Why would they serve bad food to tourists?
Because tourists don't know. They're like, ooh, Korea.
Okay, yes.
It's Korea.
And on the other side of Gangnam Station is where all the hunting bars and the puchas are.
Yeah.
And there is that's where you get followed around. People are like, you want like two people, you want to join our table?
Yeah. So Gangnam is worse, and then what?
Gangnam and Hongdae are pretty bad. They're very gentrified, so you're not gonna find like nice privately owned businesses.
So it's a lot of franchises.
Yeah, a lot of franchises, a lot of like expensive.
Is there anything else you'd like to share before we end the episode?
I think for people who want to come to Korea, it's a fun time, but you should do your research before coming here. You need to be more realistic about your expectations. You're going to come here thinking one thing, and then you're going to get super disappointed. The best thing to do is come here with no expectations of what it will be like, and you will find that your experiences will be a lot more interesting. Have an open mind. Don't have expectations when you come here.
Right.
Be realistic about your future. Right. Because you can't turn around time. You can't get that time back. So when you're here, make it worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that is the words Monica has said. Are you happy about the last words?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, bad. Well, thank you guys again for watching another episode of Korea Unfiltered, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, guys. And thank you, Monica, for coming. I forgot to say that. Bye.